Hey everybody, what's going on? HexLex here. I got another Master Duel video for you all, and this video marks the return of our viewer special series, which I'm actually really excited for, and it seems like a lot of you are too. So, for anyone who didn't catch my recent channel update video, we're going to be bringing back the viewer special, as well as a couple other weekly series. So this is going to be something that I'm going to be doing every week. I think I'm going to try to do it every day, at the same day every week, rather too. So Monday is going to be, for the time being, our viewer special day. For those who aren't familiar, who never saw the series in the past, the viewer special is something that I used to do quite frequently, where I would take replays from you all, the viewers, and showcase them here on the channel. It's been a while since I've done it, but I really like doing this series because it not only gives us a chance to see some gameplay from decks that I don't normally play, but also some new perspectives from, well, players other than me. I've often thought that the best way to improve at pretty much any game, not just Yu-Gi-Oh, but any card game, any game really, is to watch other people play. I think that is the fastest and best way to improve because it'll give you new insights and kind of thought patterns that you might not have, or play patterns, I suppose, that you hadn't considered before. So in that vein, you know, the aim of the channel here is for all of us to grow as duelists together, and I figure what better way to do that than to see games from not just me, but from you all as well. So if you're interested in submitting games for the viewer special, then all you need to do is send me your 9-digit player ID, similar to the one that you see here, and you can leave that. I have a Twitter thread. If you go to the description below, you will find a link to my Twitter page, and pinned right at the top of my Twitter page is a thread where I gather all these replays. I like to get them all there because it's nice to have them all in one place. It's very convenient for me to check. I get notified on Twitter. It's right there. But if you don't have a Twitter, and I totally understand if you don't have or want to use one, that's totally fine. You can also just drop that information in the comments of this video below. Now, in addition to leaving your 9-digit player ID, definitely make sure that you, one, have the replay saved publicly. If it's not saved publicly, I'm not able to view it. And two, if there is a specific duel you would like me to see and you have multiple replays saved, just make sure you're leaving the date and time and or the opponent's name, just any information so I know that that's the game specifically you want me to see. It's also very helpful if you want to leave a little bit of information about the game as well. You know, like you could say I played this deck versus this deck, or like the game went this way, it was this many turns, so on and so forth. And know that even if we don't get to your replay in this week's video, feel free to keep submitting. There's no limit to this number of submissions you can do. I just ask that you don't spam submit the same game over and over again. But if you have a bunch of different games, yeah, feel free to submit as many as you want. And like I said, we're going to be doing this every week, so plenty of opportunities to get your duels featured here. I've picked out a few games for us from the first round of submissions we have over there on the Twitter thread. So again, you can leave the replays there, or if you would rather do it in the YouTube comments, in the future I will be definitely checking here as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at this first duel here. Okay, so the first duel we're going to be taking a look at comes to us from NAJN, who submitted it over on Twitter there. They're going to be playing against Tetsu. They're going to be using a dinosaur deck playing against Labyrinth with the new support. So I'm very eager to see this game because Dinosaurs is a deck that I've always had a passing interest in, but don't really, haven't really gotten into myself just because there's so many URs involved. And I believe, if I remember right, and we'll see here in a moment, yeah, it looks like we're going to be taking the MAXX challenge here. Definitely not something I normally do on turn 1, but there are going to be a bit of unique circumstances that actually make it a pretty good move in this particular duel here. So, starting off with our Dino combos, and wow, Baby Ceratosaurus had a firm 3. Literally always run at 3 copies. Nobody ever runs 2. That's interesting. Alright, yeah, we're doing... it's weird commenting over a deck where I'm not familiar with the lines, because I was just about to be like, yep, we're doing Dino plays. Here, definitely, the Miscellaneousaurus is going to go a long way towards stopping any disruption, because that makes our dinosaurs unaffected during this main phase here. Ooh, I might turn off that MAXX thing here at some point for replays, or like this little thing here, because it makes a little sound notification now that I don't know if I'm super into, but... what is the option for that? I'll figure that out later. Or if you'd rather me keep that, you know, feel free to let me know as well, either way. But, Yeah, so it looks like we're doing the scrap part of the line here. Wyvern's going to bring out the Scrap Raptor. It's going to pop the Baby Ceratosaurus. Baby Saurus is going to bring out Giant Rex. I don't think that's not once per turn, is it? Right, Baby Ceratosaurus? I'm pretty sure it's not. Nope, it's definitely not. Yeah, good old school Yu-Gi-Oh design before, you know, people realize, like, hey, these really broken effects we should probably only be doing once per turn here. So, looks like we're going to go pivot into a Barkion, which this is kind of one of the reasons why I say it might have actually been fine to take the MAXX challenge here. Like, look, here's the thing. We don't know for sure that our opponent is on Labyrinth, but they have lab sleeves and a profile. I normally try not to pull information like that and, like, use it in such an objective way because, like, I mean, you know, anybody could have, like, a lab icon and sleeves and not be playing lab. Or be trying to trick people, but it's a pretty safe bet most of the time that if you know their cosmetics all match a certain theme, then they're probably running that deck. So making the Barkion here, playing into the MAXX challenge to make a Barkion against Lab, I actually not the worst idea in the world at all. We of course have the Dolka online as well here. We do only have 7 cards in the graveyard, so we're not able to just, you know, freely negate as many trap cards as we want necessarily, but we do still have enough fodder here, I think, to provide ourselves a lot of disruption. Yeah, Imperm's going to try to hit the Sprite Elf. We're just going to change the Elf effect. It will also turn off the targeting negation, so now they can Imperm the Barkion, but we're just going to go ahead and use Barkion to negate that there. The other nice thing about, like, taking a MAXX challenge against a deck like Lab is, like, you know, they can have a million cards in hand if they want, but there's only so much, even with this number of cards in hand, there's only so much a Labyrinth deck can, like, really do in one turn, right? It's not like, you know, a 60-card grass pile deck where the plays are, like, almost literally endless. Lab has, again, just so many effects they can activate, and really due to the limitation of, you know, only being able to set 5 back row, again, even if they have, like, 15 cards in hand, at the end of the day, they're only able to put down so many of their trap cards onto the board, so... Yeah, as you can see here, our Lab opponent is, like, throwing out the clock and then has to throw out, like, what was that, 3 cards anyway? Yeah, 3 cards. Flipping up Dimensional Barrier for Synchros. I don't really think that affects us too much, does it? Like, let me take a look at the extra deck here. Yeah, I mean, we have, like, some Synchros left, but really not that many, honestly. And for the most part, I think we're honestly... maybe even, like, for the most part, done using the extra deck, because I know the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is, for a lot of games, our main win con here. This card is just insane, honestly. And there it goes. It gets popped, but I have a feeling it's going to be coming back relatively shortly here. Opponent is kind of going off during our draw phase here, but again, like I said, the nice thing about this is, like, yeah, they're going off now, but, you know, they only have 5 trap cards they can really pop off with. Of course, there's also the monsters as well, but again, those are kind of limited to the number of trap cards they're able to activate as well. Okay, punishment, yep, sending the Entis. Chandragolier coming back to the opponent's hand. Lovely Labyrinth and Entis both resolving. I was going to say, yeah, I can't imagine Barkion surviving through this. And a different dimension ground, too. Wow, that's interesting. Although, to be fair, I think we've done most of our combo line. I don't know how much this deck really utilizes the graveyard, but... Okay, there goes the Barkion. And looks like they decided to pop a card from the hand. They end up taking a MAXX. It's interesting. Alright, standby main. Now we can finally play here. The Overraptor looks like it's going to pop the Rex. Overraptor effect going to activate as well as the Rex because it got banished. That different dimension proving ground actually proving to be quite useful for us here and not detrimental at all. That'll let us search a new Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Looks like we're now going to overlay for an Evolzar Logia. Okay, that'll help us against that last back row, which is going to be the Welcome Labyrinth. We are letting that resolve, actually. And the Ariana is going to get the Stovey Torby. We're out of monster effect negates because we have used both of Dolka's materials. Dolka is actually not once per turn either. Alright, looks like the Conductor Tyranno is coming down. Dugar's is going to double its attack points to 7,000. Oh, Oh yeah, and then I saw this in the extra deck. Yeah, the Pentastag. Pentastag, for those who don't know, actually grants the monster it points to piercing. So that combined with the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which has had its attack points doubled, is definitely going to be far more than enough to clear the rest of our opponent's life points. And yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for that game. Wow, again, we just played straight into the MAXX. But again, because we were playing against Labyrinth and because of the end board we're able to make, we're actually able to uniquely position ourselves to a spot where the MAXX on turn 1 did not mean an instant loss for NAJ in here. So thank you very much for that submission. We do have a couple more duels to take a look at. Let's look at the next one here. Okay, our next game comes to us from Phenom, aka I believe this is Teddy Roosevelt over on Twitter there, who I definitely recognize the name. I believe you've submitted quite a few times to the viewer special in the past here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this game here. It's going to be Spritz versus Adepticator, and you mentioned that you had the most bricked hand you've ever had opening playing Spritz here. So definitely eager to see how we are going to turn this one around. All right, we're taking the first turn, and oh, yeah, I mean, that would definitely do it. That's a second turn hand if I've ever seen one. It'll be setting just one of the call-bys before passing back over to Yami here. Firing off a MAXX during the draw phase. I like that, playing around triple tech. Call-bys coming down to banish that MAXX, though, so no such luck there. Looks like we're going to be relying on the set called by and the Ash Blossom as our main points of disruption for this duel here. So starting off with the Quackhammer Guardian and then pitching the Cardahan, we're going to use the call by on the Cardahan. I actually like that quite a bit. We know that they have like something else here, right? Obviously, because I think even if Cardahan would get negated, right? They wouldn't just normal summon Quackhammer Guardian. I don't think most people would anyway, without some kind of a rock monster in hand. Looks like we're going to Ash Blossom the Foolish Burial. Opponent is going to respond with the Quackhammer Guardian. Foolish is more than likely sending the Block Dragon here. However, I don't think this was the right move on our opponent's part. Because even though, yes, they did get to Foolish the Block Dragon, like, let's assume that the other two cards in our opponent's hands are Earth monsters. We do know that one of them is, at least because of the attempt to use the Cardahan here. Even if these are both Earth monsters, in order to summon this Block Dragon, our opponent would need to banish the Guardian Engrave as well as both cards in hand. And then, yes, they have summoned a Block Dragon, but now they don't have a way to actually get it off of the field. This is something you have to watch out for when you're actually playing Adepticator, and something that can be quite frequent, particularly in the 40-card builds like our opponent's on here. That there are often a lot of times where, like, yes, you can get to Block Dragon, but you spend too many resources doing it, and if you don't have a way to get Block Dragon off the board, just getting to it isn't going to be enough here. So, opponent's going to Foolish a Block Dragon and then pass, and I don't know, unless our opponent's last card was specifically an Earth but not a Rock monster, I do think that was a misplay. I think if our opponent does have a Rock monster in hand, holding the Quackhammer Guardian and allowing the Foolish Burial to get negated was definitely the way to go here. So we're in top deck mode, but hell, look at that, we got a Sprite monster. This is, I think, one of the reasons that Sprite is just far and away the best deck right now. Not that far away, but is the best deck, I think, definitively. I don't know, again, about far and away, but it is definitely better than Tier. I think most people can come to that consensus at this point. And one of the reasons is its ability to play very resiliently and also top deck very well, right? Like, our hand was looking pretty bad, but we top decked, like, with the MAXX, it could have been any Sprite monster. It didn't even have to be red. You know, blue or jet, of course, would have even been better. But, like, Sprites, literally as long as you can get 2 level 2 monsters on the board. That's all you have to do. If you can get 2 level 2 monsters in play, you are good to go. And you're probably going to have a pretty good shot at, if it's turn 1, establishing a hard board to break, or if it's turn 2, just outright winning the duel with something like the Sprite Double Burst. Or wait, Double Gamma? Why can't I remember the card's name now? Gamma Burst, that's what it is. I was thinking of Double Cross. But Sprite Gamma Burst, of course, makes it a lot easier to close out the duel on turn 2 as well. So, very nice. I guess technically it was turn 3 for us here. Very nice, very well played, playing through a absolutely bricked hand and still coming out on top. We have one more game to take a look at. Let's go straight into it here. Okay, our final game is going to come to us from Vivo. Vivo has a game, let's see here, I believe it's going to be this one here, where they're playing the Everything Pile deck versus Tearlaments, and we all know how much I love a good pile deck. It's not gonna lie, that's a pretty easy way to get featured on the viewer specials to play a deck I like. So play Synchro Pile decks, play Heroes, play Sprite variants. But in any case, so our opponent's going to get to go first. We do have a MAXX for them, which is very nice. Going to be firing that in response to the activation of Shiren's effect here. Alright, so Shiren is going to send a Merly, mill 3 cards. Looks like it's going to be Rhoda, Heartbeat, and Soliac. So they're going to get a Search as well as that Soliac back and the Merly fusion here as well. That's definitely a bit rough, even if they are going to get started, or if they are going to have to do their plays under MAXX, because we started with one here on their turn. Like, yeah, we get multiple draws, but that's still a lot of advantage that our opponent is gaining here as well. They get the Soliac, they get the Monster Search, they get another Search with the Kikalos here. Yeah, even though like we drew 2 off of MAXX, they are actually still 1 card up on us. So they're going to be sitting 3 before passing back over. We know 1 is a Monster Negate. Ooh, very nice Allure there. I'm going to be starting with the Branded Regain, following that up with the Allure of Darkness, drawing 2 cards and banishing our spare Assault Synchron here. The Branded Regain will put that Assault Synchron back and then draw us an extra card. The Shinobi Necro is not a bad draw at all here. E-Telly for the Zayamine. I like this. We're not committing our normal summon, which I think is very important, and still using the cards that we have access to bait responses from our opponent. Soliac is going to get to send Kikalos, which will mill our opponent 5. Looks like they hit a Scream. They also hit a Mudora as well, so that's a little bit annoying. We're going to be normal summoning the Merly here. Merly is going to send, unfortunately, nothing too relevant, although it does send a Dark Monster for us to be able to drop a Saronir. Assault Synchron is coming down next, and looks like we're just going to go ahead and sync these 2 off for the Chaos Ruler. Always nice to make a Chaos Ruler using Saronir, because the Chaos Ruler gets to get chain blocked by the Saronir effect, so no Ash Blossom to stop the Excavate. Saronir is going to send Rebellion, makes sense. Let's see the Excavate off of Chaos Ruler. Ooh, Fairy Tail Snow, that's already a really good Excavate. So was the Keldo too. And a Calbeck. Interesting. I think we could even, yeah, because we hit the Keldo, I think we could even, I was going to say, fire off the Calbeck here. Normally, it's not right to do that when, you know, our opponent's on tier limits, and especially when it's our turn, but here we, like I said, we have the Keldo, so our opponent is going to get to Agito, which is a little bit scary. But the Keldo gets to make sure that we put back their Merly so they can't fuse, as well as their Snow. Targeting the Mudora to force that as well. Looks like they're going to chain their Mudora, and neither player is going to be summoning their Fairy Tail Snow here. Although, to be fair, I don't know, I think maybe we could have spared enough cards from the graveyard to be able to do so. Okay, what did they hit off of this Agito? Looks like Rhino Heart and Merly. They already used Merly to fuse with, right? Wow, we hit our Agito as well. Chain blocking it with the Zayamine, that's nice. Okay, they do get to proc their Rhino Heart. But yeah, they're not really doing anything too scary here, despite all these mills, which is nice. Looks like they're sending a Meta Noise from hand to graveyard. We mill the Havness and the Snow again, which is nice. Let's see what they end up hitting here. They hit a Calbeck. Oh my god. This is, holy moly, this is quite the back and forth. Also, 13% use rate for Meta Noise is interesting. I guess with Soliac going to 1, a lot of people are turning to Meta Noise to make their screams / heartbeats a little bit more consistent, as well as their mills overall as well, because this, I believe, sends a tier. If it adds a tier from grave to hand if it gets milled. That's relatively comparable to searching. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be playing Meta Noise in my tier limit builds, but I don't think it's necessarily wrong. Okay, Regained is going to summon the Magnum HUD, 50% use rate. Wow. Magnum HUD definitely proving itself to be a staple in this current metagame. But we're also going to be firing off the Snow effect. Opponent's going to activate Havness and Shiren. So at this point, they have used all of their Fuser's effects. That is important and worth noting. They're going to be summoning Roll Close, and I imagine Kaleido Heart here as well. Yep. Have we used our normal summon yet? I don't think we have, right? No, we have. Okay. Oh, yeah, it was the Merly. That's right. We do still have... Oh, no, we don't have Assault Synchron in hand. Oh, we're going for the Goddess. We're going for the Goddess using their Roll Close. That's good. That's really good. Ooh, the Crime effect to put back the Goddess. I mean, to be fair, it already achieved most of what we wanted to already, which is just... Oh, no, they shuffled back the... Oh, no, they didn't shuffle back anything because Goddess isn't affected. Does that target the card? Or no, it doesn't target the card, right? I always get this screwed up. Yes, Underworld Goddess has to be targeted. And crime does not target, so it wasn't affected by it. Got it, that makes sense. And we can negate the snow activation, that's good. Of course, yeah, they have enough to snow again, but at least we forced them to banish 7 of their cards. Alright, looks like Snow's putting our Lubellian face down. They have a Super Poly, oh my god. Fusing our Chaos Ruler and Shiren, but isn't that just going to proc our Shiren, or have we used that already this turn? Okay, I guess we've used that already this turn. We do get to get rid of their Kaleido Heart. Chaos Ruler is coming back during the main phase 2, banishing the Shinobi Necro, and then... Did they concede or run out of time, actually? I would believe either. They connect failed, which I think is pretty much a rage concede. So, I do think that was a bit early of a concede. Like, we could have made Baron there. Could we have actually made the Thunder Dragon Colossus? I don't even know at that point. So much happened during that game. It was really hard to keep track of. But, I mean, it's everything pile versus tier. That's kind of par for the course for a matchup like this. So, very, very nice. Love that game. Love to see pile decks. So, thank you, Vivo, as well as... Teddy Brosevelt and NAJN, everyone for submitting those games, and of course everyone who didn't get featured. I thank you all for submitting your games as well. Just know that even if I don't feature your game, I very likely did watch it. I do watch pretty much all of them, just to get a good idea of what games I'd like to feature. And again, even if you didn't get featured, there is always next week, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that. So let's go ahead and move now to our outro. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching all the way to the very end of the video like this. That means a whole lot to me, not just personally, but it's also a great way of supporting the channel as well. If you're interested in supporting the channel in other means, you can of course feel free to comment and or subscribe right here on YouTube. I'm always looking to the comments section. You guys leave some pretty awesome feedback as far as like constructive criticism goes when it comes to deck building, gameplay, channel content, all that stuff. So feel free to leave your opinion down there. I will be sure to take a look at that there. And then subscribing is going to be the best way to get notifications of when these videos drop. That does happen every day, by the way, so if you're looking for daily Master Duel content, you've come to the right place. And there are more places where you can get some daily Master Duel content. If you check out the description below, follow the top link over to my Patreon page. There for just $5 a month, which is as much as you pay for a booster pack. You'll find a lot more value than a pack full of filler over there. We've got some previews for content upcoming here on the channel. We've got some exclusive games that are only posted over on Patreon over there. We've got some Q&As, and then you can also have your name featured in this lovely credit sequence where I thank all of the people who are helping contribute over there on Patreon. It's a huge support to the channel, and it really means a lot as well. So thank you everyone who is donating that is featured here on screen. And again, you know, it's not just a pure donation. You do get some more daily Master Duel content over there just for being a part of the Patreon. But I think that's about all the time that I have for today's video. Once again, I just want to thank you so very much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. Again, it just means a lot, as I do put a decent amount of work into getting these videos out every single day. But that's about all the time that I've got for now. So without further ado, this is MAXX. I'm signing out, and I hope you have a fantastic day.